In this video we're going to look at laws of exponents level 4. So it's the laws of exponents which we've been using, but it's slightly more complicated problems. But really you're using the same rules over and over again. There just might be more rules and there might be a couple of little tricks involved, but really it's the same type thing, just a little bit deeper. So we're only going to look at 2 examples here, and then the worksheet is on Moodle, so you can work through the problems in that for practice and ask questions in class. The very important thing to remember about level 3 and level 4, when you simplify, you should not have a negative exponent in your answer. You might have simplified perfectly and got to the second last step, but if you left the negative exponent, it means you haven't finished the question properly, you have an extra step to go, and that won't get you the full points. Okay, that's a very important step in these questions. So let's have a look at one to start. Okay, so you see the instruction is to simplify the expressions as much as possible using laws of exponents. There should be no negative exponents in your answer. Right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to attack what's in the parentheses first. And then the -2 part we're going to do after. So we want to simplify the expression inside. So, what we have, I'm going to break it up into little pieces. What we have is, the number over the number is 7 over 4. Okay? The dot represents multiplication, because these are all multiplications. We have x to the -3 over x to the 2. We have y to the 5 over y to the 7. And we have z over z to the -4. Okay, so all I've done is I've just pieced together all the different variables, put them together with the like variable. We're going to simplify those and then put them back together again. So let's look. 7 over 4 is just 7 over 4. All right, so we leave that as it is. X to the -3 divided by x to the -2. We subtract the exponents. So we have x -3 minus 2 is -5. Y to the power of 5 over y to the power of 7. So again, it's y. 5 minus 7 minus 2. The last one, z over z to the -4. Be careful here. This z means z to the power of 1. And it's 1 minus -4. So it's the top minus whatever is on the bottom. And in this case, it's -4. Okay, so I'm just going to do it just here separately in red, just in the top. So here to show you. So it's 1 minus -4, which is the same as 1 plus 4, which is 5. All right. So now we've done a good deal of the simplifying to this point. We just need to, first of all, get rid of the negative exponents. So what we have then is 7 over 4. X to the -5 is 1 over x to the 5. Y to the -2 is 1 over y squared. And then we just have z to the power of 5. Okay? So these are all fractions except z to the power of 5, which I'm going to make into a fraction by putting it over 1. Now we're multiplying 4 fractions. Top times top, 7 times 1 is 7, times 0, 1 is still 7, times z to the power of 5. Okay, multiply along the bottoms. We get 4 times x to the 5 times y squared times 1, which is 4x to the 5 y squared. Now, it's very important that we don't forget that that's just simplifying what was in the parentheses. We still have the -2. So how are we going to work with that? So what we're going to get, we're going to flip that upside down to get rid of the minus. So we're going to have 4x to the 5 y squared all over 7x to the 5. And this is all to the power of 2. Now, to finish that, for this thing squared means multiply it by itself. So we can write this whole thing beside itself. Multiply the 4 by the 4, the x to the 5 by the x to the 5, and so on, expanding it out to get the answer. And that will work. But the laws of exponents tell me that Squaring means you're going to multiply everything by itself. So the 4 is going to be multiplied by itself to give me 16. X to the 5 is going to be multiplied by itself to give me x to the 10. And y squared is going to be multiplied by itself, giving me y to the 4. Divided by 49, which is 7 times 7, and x to the power of 10. Okay? Now, one last little step. Hold on 1 second. That should be z to the power of 10 there. I just noticed my mistake. That's not an x, it's a z. Okay? So 7z to the power of 10. And that's your answer. You can't do any more simplifying with that. Next one. So in this case, right, what makes this a little bit more challenging is we have parentheses beside parentheses and so on. So if we look at this, order of operations tell me we should simplify what's in the parentheses first. So we're going to work from the smaller ones. Minus 4ab, it can't be simplified. It's just what it is. 3a cubed b can't be simplified. But we can square what's in that. So what we can get, the first thing we can do is I'm going to square. So I'm going to get minus 4ab. And now the squared is only on the 3a cubed b. That square does not act on the first parentheses, minus 4ab. It only acts on the second one. So that squaring means I square everything inside. So I'm going to get 9 a to the 6 b squared. If you're not sure about that, you can always expand it to c. All over 2a squared b cubed to the power of minus 2. We'll come back to that minus 2 later. Now, the two parentheses on top, when there's nothing between two parentheses, it means they have to be multiplied. So we're going to do minus 4 times 9 is going to give us minus 36. Okay, we can expand this, remember, if we need to. A times a to the 6 is a to the 7 by adding the exponents. B times b squared is b cubed. And that's all over 2a squared b cubed. And to the power of minus 2. Okay, just check if I made any mistakes there. I don't think I have. Now, the top is simplified. Let's see if we can do the division, the top and the bottom part together. So let's look at that. So minus 36 over 2 is minus 18. A to the 7 over a to the 2 is a to the 5. B cubed over b cubed is b to the power of 0 by subtracting the exponents, which is just 1. Okay, but we don't need to write that down. I put it down in red. But multiplying something by 1 doesn't have an impact. It doesn't change it. Okay, to the minus 2. So let's finish that off. So the minus means I flip this upside down. So I write 1 over minus 18a to the 5 squared. And then the squared, we can write it out and expand it if we want to, but we don't have to. The squared acts on the 1. 1 squared is 1. Minus 18 squared is going to be 324a to the 10. And that's the answer. Okay? What's good about these problems is if you know how to apply the steps, it's easy. Okay, there's a bit of order of operations involved. You have to look inside the parentheses first and so on. But just follow the rules and it's not so difficult. So there's a worksheet on Moodle for you to work with now and practice these and ask any questions that you have and we'll deal with them in class.